Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to this video segment. In this video segment, we shall solve problems concerning or involving exponential growth and decay. Exponential growth and decay. For these first problems, we shall talk about exponential growth. Then the next video, we shall do exponential decay. Now, we generally have that the formula for exponential growth or decay is y equal to abx, ab raised to power x. Of course, the exponent x is for the growth factor b. Now, a is what we call the initial amount. A is the initial amount, and B is what we call the growth factor. And of course, we can actually break the growth factor. We can break it up to be 1 plus R A, 1 plus R X. Right? So if you look at this now, if you compare this and this, of course, this is our A, this is our X. So you know that our B is now 1 plus R, where R is known as the rate of growth. If you kind of compare it, you know, this is the formula that you were given. And when you compare it, you now see that you can break B into 1 plus R, where R is a rate of growth. So it says identify the initial amount, A, and the growth factor, B, in each exponential function. Break B into 1 plus R, where R is the rate of growth. Then you were asked to give R as the percentage. Give R as the percentage. Now, you know that if B is greater than 1, then you have an exponential growth. Right? If B is greater than 1, if B is greater than 1, then you have a exponential growth. Exponential growth. And if B is less than 1, then you have an exponential decay. You have a decay. Well, I wouldn't say, yeah, you can have exponential decay. You have growth and decay. When B is greater than 1, you have growth. When B is less than 1, you have decay. So the B is the thing in parentheses. If you just compare, you will say the B is the thing in parentheses. So in this case, our B for question 1, our B is 1.24, so that's growth. If B is greater than 1, then that's growth. Question 2, our B is 1.01, is greater than 1, that's growth as well. Question 3, our B is 1.97, is greater than 1, that's growth. So you will need this information to answer some questions in your assignment. All right, now when we compare, let's start with number 1. We now have y equal to, first of all, let's write this a, b, x. So if we have y equal to 2.5, then 1.24 raised to power x. Now, if you compare this x to x, that's gone. I mean, that's okay. Now, you now see that this is A, and of course, this one will be B. Right? So, we have that our A, initial amount, is 2.5, and our B is 1.24. That's what we have in this. Now, the question now says, break B. The question says identify initial amount A and growth factor B. We have done it. Right? Now, it now says break B into 1 plus R, where R is the rate of growth, and then give R as the percentage. So, we see that our B here is 1 plus R. Remember, B is 1 plus R. And here, this B is 1.24. So we have that our B is 1 plus R, and we also have that our B here is 1.24. So what does this tell you? B is equal to B. This tells you that, of course, our B is equal to B. So this should be equal to this, so that we can find R. So equate this to be this, so that you can find R. We now have that 1 plus R will give us 1.24. And then you need to, of course, look at my videos on solving equations. You find that R will now be 1.24 minus 1. So our R will now be 0.24. 0.24. Now, some of your teachers might do it this way. When they have this 1 plus R equal to 1.24, they now do minus 1, and then your R will now be 0.24. It doesn't matter whether you do it this way or this way. Or this way, it doesn't matter, because you might be confused. How did Mr. C do this? Yeah, it still doesn't matter. Yeah. So our R becomes 0.24, right? And they want you to give this as a percentage. Now, whenever you're told to give something as a percentage, it means multiply by 100. That is what it means, right? Whenever you want to give something as a percentage, whenever you want to convert to a percentage, you multiply by 100. And let me write it here. Okay. To convert anything to a percentage, multiply by 100. Now, you probably have done this in class, converting decimals to percents or fractions to percents. So, if you've done it in class, that is what it means, right? So, if we want to convert the R, 0.24, although some of you might call it 0.24, we call it 0.24. Okay, to percent, all you need to do is multiply by 100. So, this R to percent will be 0.24 times 100, and that gives us what? 24%. And that becomes your answer. So our R is 24%, our A is 2.5, and our B is 1.24, and your R is 24%. That's it. That's it. Okay, let's do number 2 and number 3, and then we call it a day. Now you still remember this? B is 1 plus R. So number 2, we have Y to be 1.7, then 1.01 times X. Remember, Y is ABX. So our A is 1.7, our B is 1.01. Then of course, you also know that our B is equal to 1 plus R. So, and we also have that our B is 1.01. So 1 plus R is equal to 1.01. So R will now be 1.01 minus 1. R will be 0.01. And then to percent, you now do 0.01 times 100. And that gives you 1%. So R is 0.01, which is 1%. So this becomes your R, this becomes your B, this becomes your A. And that's number 2. See? Okay, number 3. We have a Y equal to 1.05, 1.97x. Okay, you still do ABX. This is A and this is B, right? So if you compare this, you see that our A is 1.05 and our B is 1.97. Now to get our is our A, is our B. Now to get our R, we see that our B is also 1 plus R, rate of growth. So, and we have that B is 1.97. So D is equal to B. This means that 1 plus R is equal to 1 plus 1.97. I'm sorry. 1 plus R is equal to 1.97. So our R will now be 1.97 minus 1. Our R is 0.97. And if you multiply this to percent, if you want to convert it to percent, it will be 0.97 times 100, and that gives 97%. So this is also equal to 97%. Now, and this becomes an R. It's just like now when you say, hey, James, I made 97% in my math. That means it's 97 out of 100. That means you made 97 out of 100. And 97 divided by 100 gives you 0.97. So it's like when you're converting anything to it. If you're converting a decimal to percent, you multiply by 100. If you're converting a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100. Alright students, thank you so much for listening to this video. And please watch out for the next video where we will do decay. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.